Hey everyone, Tina here, and today we're going to be talking about this portable steam cleaner that was sent to me to try out. And I'm going to go over what you can clean with it and show you how easy it is to use. I'm also going to mention a few features that I think are worth knowing about. So first, let me show you what actually comes in the box. So you've got the steam cleaner itself, plus 16 different accessories. There are different brush heads, nozzles, a scraper, wiping cloths, gloves, and several attachments depending on what you're trying to clean. And I like having the different options because obviously what I would use on grout in my bathroom isn't necessarily what I would want to use on something like upholstery or inside the car. So one of the first things that I noticed about this one is that it heats up really quickly. They say it takes only about 15 seconds, so you're not filling this thing up and then standing around forever waiting for it to be ready. It heats the steam to about 221 degrees Fahrenheit, and it has 3 bar of pressure. It also has 1500 watts, and what all of that basically means for me is that you're getting hot pressurized steam that can help loosen things up like grime, grease, dirt, instead of sitting there scrubbing. And with that being said, you will want to wear the gloves that come with it while using it, and you can actually adjust how much steam you are getting out of it. There are 6 different levels, and you just use the plus and minus buttons to adjust it. I really like that because you don't really necessarily want the same amount of steam for every single thing that you're cleaning. If I'm going to be working on something really grimy, I can turn it up higher. And if I'm cleaning something where I do not need quite as much steam, I can turn it down. Another thing that I think is important is the size of the water tank, because I don't want to constantly stop what I'm doing and try to refill it. This has a 1.25 liter tank, so you've pretty much got a good amount of water to work with. The tank is also really easy to access for filling and emptying. And something that I didn't really think about until I started using it is how much the hose and cord and length matter. You've got about 6.5 foot of a steam hose and an almost 5 foot of power cord. So you don't have the entire machine sitting right next to whatever you're cleaning. You can set it down and actually move around with the hose. Let me show you what I mean, because I used it in my bathroom. This is probably one of the places where I personally see myself using the steam cleaner the most. You've got tile, grout, little corners and crevices, and all those little areas where dirt tends to build up. And this is where those different attachments really come in handy, because I can direct the steam exactly where I want it instead of spraying steam into a huge area. You could also use this in the kitchen for things like appliances and a variety of other surfaces around the house. And it's not limited to the house either. One of the reasons that I thought this was interesting is because you can also use it for car detailing. You've got all those little areas inside the vehicle, like the trim, crevices, the seat, and some of those spots can really be difficult to get into. So this is great for those tighter spaces. You can also use it for sofas, windows, doors, and if you have pets like I do, there are a lot of areas around the house that always need that extra cleaning. One of the reasons I think people choose steam cleaning in the first place is because you're cleaning without chemicals. You're just putting water in there, and it's a high temperature steam that does all the work. Speaking of chemicals, something to note is that you are not supposed to put anything except for cool water in the tank. No cleaning solutions, chemicals, scented oils, do not put those in the unit. Another tip that I personally wanted to mention is that because we have really hard water here in Phoenix, I used distilled water in the unit. Another tip is to please make sure that you read the entire user manual, because there's a lot of things that you need to be aware of, such as do not put the water in when the machine is on, do not point it at anyone, including pets. Burns can occur from some of the parts if you touch them. So just some helpful reminders that you should be aware of, and please read it. So another thing that I like is that you don't have to get out the spray bottle and you're not using all these chemicals, which is great when you have pets. I like cleaning things that doesn't leave residue behind. So just using water and hot steam definitely is something that's not going to leave residue. So also make sure that you check the manufacturer's care instructions and test a small area if you're going to be using it on upholstery. The other tip is do not use it on glossy plastic film such as LED readouts on the stove, because if it has a special coating on it, it can take that off or substantially dull it. So any soft plastic, they say to not use it on it. Overall, what I liked about this setup is the versatility. You're getting a larger water tank, 6 adjustable steam levels, a pretty long hose, fast heat up time, and all of those different accessories. So instead of having something that is really designed just for grout or just for the kitchen, this is something that you can actually move around the house and use it for a bunch of different cleaning jobs. Then you can take it out to the car so when you need it there. So for me, that's really the appeal of this machine, is that I can pull it out when I have something that's particularly grimy or difficult to clean. If you're in the market for a new steam cleaner, I definitely recommend checking this one out.